Yeah, the new one will be good. I hope.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That's Eric over there.
Hello.
That is Vanessa over there.
Hello.
And I am Kelly. Boy, guys, this is our first episode after taking a 2-week break, and I feel so much more rested.
I bet.
Yeah.
You want to do some jumping jacks or something?
Run around the block.
You know, the other day this is for the video watchers. The other day I was driving down the road and I see this kind of crazy looking guy on the side of the road, and he's kind of dancing around and all this stuff. And as I get closer, he makes eye contact with me, right? And he starts doing this.
Yeah, all right.
And so I gave him one of these, and I shot it back to him, and he goes, "Yeah!" And it put me in a delightful mood for the rest of the day.
Awesome.
Incredible.
Wonder how many people he did that to before he kind of got a good reaction.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, yeah.
I would not have made eye contact, so I'm very happy for you.
Well, he was dancing quite physically. He was all over the place, and
Wow.
and I couldn't stop looking. And then he obviously knew.
Sure.
He looked right at me. I was like, "Fuck! Why don't I have tinted windows?"
Oh man.
Oh boy, you guys. I have seen some stuff, and I know you guys have seen some stuff. Let's talk about the stuff we have
Let's
seen.
talk
yeah,
about that.
absolutely.
I don't know how I wanted to feel about this film because I don't quite know how I feel about Finn Wolfhard, the kid from Stranger
Oh.
Things.
Sure.
I think he's an unlikely sex symbol. Quite
That is
a different
one way of putting
looking
it.
Mm.
person.
Yeah, no. Oh God.
He's also very precocious. He's got a band, and he made a movie, and I watched this movie.
Okay.
It is called Hell of a Summer,
Oh,
and
okay.
it is a camp slasher flick about it's horror comedy, which
Mhm.
is always tough.
Yeah.
And this is not very funny, and it definitely suffers from dialogue that is written by a young person.
Mhm.
You know, let's face it, you don't write good dialogue until you've lived for a while and actually listen to how people talk. So there's a lot of fucking exposition in every single
Oh, wow.
conversation and stuff like that. And it's directed by a young filmmaker, not necessarily in age, but in experience.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I would say this is like by the books, Friday the 13th type
Oh.
stuff. There's an attempt at a twist that is really easy to see coming, even if you can't tell who it's going to be coming from.
Mm.
And so I don't know.
You're saying pass?
I would say
Unless-
that, my problem was I don't think much of this kid. And so when the
Yeah.
movie wasn't great, I was kind of like, well, what did I expect?
Yeah, I give him a lot of room as an actor. I feel like there's potential for him out there. But in my head, he's still such a kid.
Yeah.
When I saw it was like a film by, it was just like, okay.
Oh,
I mean, he's fucking 22 years old or something now, and he has
Yeah.
lived his entire life in front
On
of us.
sets, yeah.
So I'm just like, I kind of hate that. That idea of, I had to struggle to make this, and I'm like, you didn't really have to struggle to make this. You had to struggle to become the actor that you became,
Yeah.
that was good enough to suddenly get on the biggest show in the world. But that opens a lot of fucking doors.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Hell of a Summer is a rental. Your mileage may vary.
Wow. Well, I saw the new HBO, I think it's HBO series, The Pit.
HBO Max again?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Now it is HBO Max. No longer Max.
The Pit. This is a medical drama, right?
Yes, it's a medical drama.
Yeah.
It's
Man, I want to see this one.
yeah, it's set up like 24, so each one's hour by hour, sequentially. It's Noah
Riley
from ER
Yeah.
is reprised, and in fact, the creator of ER is back as well, making this show. It is so fucking good and addictive. Don't watch one episode unless you have time and you just want to lose yourself in something for a while, because it was like hard to stop watching. And it has a hefty number of episodes. I think it's something like 12 or 15 episodes.
I love that that's now a lot of episodes.
It felt like a lot compared to, I mean, it feels like
It
a
should be
return to
24.
traditional. I know. It was really funny hearing people be like, what an incredible, unique format. And I was like, what are you talking about?
It's like, what, 10 seasons
I
of
know. It was
that?
like, there were so many seasons of 20. Does anyone remember Alicia Cuthbert? Come on, people. But no, but it is extremely good. I think that, just really emotionally interesting. I love the medical stuff. There's a lot of PTSD emotionally from the lead concerning how COVID went down, and as things start to get stressful and worse, he keeps kind of tapping into this like helpless, horrible moment that he flashes back to from COVID, where like everyone around him is dying and everything's, confusing, and he's covered in all the suit. And anyway, and of course, like people who are coming in have interesting medical issues. It's a real adrenaline junkie show with a lot of cool little twists, some of which you see coming, some of which you don't. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. So
I've read or watched something on that it is one of the most medically accurate shows ever done.
I heard that too. I mean, obviously it's a lot that happens in a smaller amount of time than probably would.
Sure.
Because
Yeah.
drama.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my best friend is she was a ambulance person. What do you call them? EMT.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry. Yeah,
You're
she was
welcome.
an EMT, and so her and my friends in high school, they would like study like in the hallways of the high school, doing all their medical textbooks and getting ready for different kinds of things because they all wanted to go into that profession. And I was like, not me. Good luck. Enjoy.
Yeah.
So having been, around that kind of universe, it was really fun. Not fun, but interesting to see all of this stuff, and very,
I haven't
really good.
seen it yet. I really want to, but it kind of reminds me of. It looks like, I don't know if you've seen the original ER with this show called Code Black.
Oh no,
That only lasted maybe a season or two. That was incredibly intense. Really one down. The idea of a Code Black being an ER is so busy that they cannot take people anymore, and it's supposed to be like based on the inner city LA hospital or something that enters Code Black more than any other hospital in the US.
That is 100% what this is like. It's like the ERs you begin with it overflowing and just them trying to make a dent in it. It's just, monumental.
Your mention too is, I'll toss this out, see if maybe I can get you to watch this yet, but your description reminds me of a medical version of The Bear.
Oh, sure.
The first season of The Bear, at least. There's a couple episodes that happen as The Bear goes on that just pushed me out because they were so intense and so uncomfortable to watch. I'm like, okay, you guys are really good at what you do, but you're actually almost too good. But that first season, fucking brilliant. Anyways.
I've seen like 2 episodes of The Bear. I just have to be ready mentally to return, and I'm not.
That was called The Pit, and it is on HBO Max.
HBO Max, no longer Max.
Yes.
Update your app.
Yeah, not just Max.
Not Max, HBO Max.
Yeah, it's good to see a corporation that obviously really has their shit together and knows what they're doing.
It's not TV. It's HBO.
It's HBO. See, that would have been where they should have stuck with 40 years of a certain kind of style.
Agreed.
Anyways, so I watched a film by a person I know, a friend of mine he had 2 or 3 films at Crypticon Seattle over the years, and I don't know where he's living now. Last I heard, I think he's living in like South Dakota, but I don't know if he's still there. But directed by Jeremy Brown and Mick Strawn, who I think I've met. But anyways, a movie called Solitude just came out on for rental at all the usual places. And it's a story of a reality show where people are alone in the woods and they have to survive. And the idea is there's something weird in the woods, something, well, it starts with Wendigo as the opening moment. And pretty low budget. So the lead lady, Nicole Appeline, does actually a really solid performance. Some of the others they're all good. There's nobody like, oh my God, get off the screen now. But the lead's performance moves the movie forward. Overall, pretty damn good. He's got a style I find interesting, so that helps a lot. I would say if you're not a watcher of reality shows, I don't know if this may bug you, because it's got that reality show style of talking to the camera and all the things like that going on. So maybe it's not for everybody, but just well done, low budget film with set in largely one location. There's a secondary location where the where the budget kind of shows, because there's a very small group of people working on this show. But it seems like there are a few more people maybe, but you know, you do what you can when you got a low budget that you're dealing with. But looks really good. Shot on the Red, I think. Edited on DaVinci. Saw that at the end going, all right. But so if you're interested in low budget indie films that are well acted and overall well done, and you don't mind reality shows, I would say definitely check it out. That's why, Kelly, you know, maybe it's not going to be one for you, but I think Jeremy did something pretty good. And he did a short film one time that there's just a slow burn zombie thing that I really, really liked. Glad to see he's working, getting it done. Keep going, man.
Where is this available on?
Lots of places. I think I rented it on Apple. It's on Amazon. It's got a pretty good distribution because it's on most of the places you can rent.
Cool.
It's called Solitude.
Yeah.
Okay, which one am I going to talk about here? I think I'm going to talk about Drop.
Oh,
have you
okay.
guys heard of Drop?
Yes, but have not seen it.
I have.
This is about a woman who goes on a first date with a guy, and they're in a really cool tower restaurant, and she starts getting these messages dropped to her iPhone. And pretty soon these messages are telling her that she has to try and kill this guy that she is on the date with, or her son at home is going to be killed. And these messages include videos of the person in her house and stuff like that.
Holy shit.
And if she tries to do anything, they're just going to kill the kid immediately. So it is one of those almost real-time movies once this part starts, where she is trying to not kill, obviously, this guy, and still make the guy think that she's going to be able to pull this off. It's not horror. I guess it would be thriller. It didn't completely work for me, but there were moments that I thought were really, really good and engaging. And then the title I thought was interesting because it means two things in this film. So I it's a rental, and I think it's really well acted and well written. I think I wanted just a little more out of it, but I'll be honest, I don't know what else I could have wanted from it. It's done fine. It just left me going, there was something I needed in here that I didn't get.
Kind of sounds like that piano one that I talked about a couple of weeks back, where it's like, it's really good, but it just something there, but very similar premise.
Yeah.
So,
well,
cool.
this was there are some funny moments in it, and there's some really stressful scenes where I was just like, oh, holy shit.
Nice.
And it did make me go, what would I do in this situation? Because I think I'm too much of a pussy, and I would just be like, I'm calling the cops. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
So then they'd kill my kid.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be the problem.
I'd be like, look, he was 5 years old. How attached can I be? I'll make another one.
I definitely was pretty interested in seeing this film, but just I think there were other things in the theater at the same time. Just couldn't quite make it work. So it's exciting to hear that it's available to stream now.
Yeah, to rent.
Rent, yes.
Called Drop.
Excellent.
Nice.
Well, I watched a film that I've been meaning to watch for a while called We Live in Time, which I thought was going to be a sci-fi romance with time travel, starring Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. It's available to stream right now on Max for free. And
is it a science fiction time travel?
It is not.
Oh, okay.
It is just a I think maybe it's based on a book. It's just like a story of a couple, and it's sort of told roughly out of order between how they met, how they fell in love, got married, had a kid, and then she is undergoing cancer treatment, but is also a famous chef at the same time and trying to do this like big chef competition. It's a real piece of shit.
No.
I don't know why it's told out of order. There's literally no payoff to that. There's maybe like one moment in the whole film where I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like, I like how you're doing this one thing. But most of it was just frustrating because you're like, this chick is like dying, and instead of spending time with her family, she's like, I'm gonna try to win this very specific award for doing chef stuff, and she's just being very selfish, and it's hard to care about her reasoning. You just kind of want her to stop being an asshole, and you don't really care about their relationship that much. Like, I just didn't buy into their relationship that much. They're both great actors, but this film just felt so pointless.
Wow.
Yeah, I was really bummed. I was really hoping for like a nice like rom-com or even just a romance, and it left me emotionally wanting.
It left this reviewer cold.
Yep.
Wow, well, that's a bummer because I am really rooting for Andrew Garfield to make some kind of a comeback. But
yeah, he did great in Tick Tick Boom, which was
that's right,
out on Netflix. That was amazing.
Okay.
So I think that he's like floating around out there. People know he's extremely good. It's just these projects, man. Don't do this fucking book adaptation bullshit.
Wow.
I guess maybe he saw Florence was, I don't know. I don't know who decided first. And they were like, yeah, let's do this film together. We're both British. Great. Choose better projects.
That's a pass, I guess.
Alrighty.
We live in time.
We live in time.
I watched one called Freaky Tales.
Yeah. I've been curious about this.
I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. I think it was a couple of episodes ago you'd mentioned you're ready for Pedro Pascal to do like a dark scene or a dark character. He does in this one.
I have seen this.
Okay, you're saying that he's really good at it. Like going, yeah, he could carry a movie as a villain. It's like, not a super villain, but
not in Wonder Woman, but
like there you go.
Just want to clarify.
Fair point. Yeah.
Okay.
But so the idea is there's four kind of interconnected stories, loosely interconnected, but there's no wraparound story or anything like that. It's not like an anthology per se, but all taking place in Oakland, California in the late 80s. And one is Pascal's story. One's about a bunch of punks doing a show which gets interfered with by Nazis. And then the other one is this basketball player who does this amazing ending scene, which is just ridiculous, over the top, and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I wanted to know a little bit more. I should have done a little more research on this because the basketball player is the name of a real basketball player from back then.
Is he?
And that real basketball player cameos in the film.
Sleepy Floyd.
Yeah,
Was that
Sleepy
the-
Floyd,
that was
Sleepy
him.
Joe Floyd, or something like. I don't.
Yeah.
But you're forgetting that there's also a throwaway segment of two female rappers having a rap
right.
battle
Yeah.
with Too Short.
Yeah.
In a sequence that didn't make sense with the rest of the movie.
It was a fun scene, but yeah, it was definitely not even loosely intertwined with them.
Yeah. So
what about these tales are freaky?
That is an interesting thing. The final tale is definitely freaky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there's a loose wraparound idea that on this particular night there was this green light that was
something.
something, and so you'll see green lightning in the background every once in a while, and there is a odd at the end of the rap battle. There's an odd nod to Repo Man.
Yeah,
where this bus glows and then flies off.
And Marshawn Lynch makes his cameo appearance.
I was like, was that Marshawn Lynch? She didn't even get a line.
Yeah, I know. It's like, come on.
But the weirdest thing is, this is written and directed by the filmmakers who did Captain Marvel.
Oh.
This is a very low budget film written by some gigantic creators, and it's got to be a passion project thing. I thought it was really uneven, but I liked Pedro's bit, and I loved the basketball one.
Yeah, those are the best.
The thing is that like the first one with the punks and the skinheads, I was like, oh boy, the acting is a little rough, and I was just like, okay, am I going to like this? And then the second one I didn't like, and I was, I hate that I've become such a Pascal nut. I was like, oh, I'm just going to hang out for his segment, I guess, which was the only reason I even watched it. And it was really good with a very surprising cameo at the video store.
Yes. Yeah, that was like, okay.
But then that last segment is so fun and cool that I was like, oh, these guys pulled a Titanic on me. The Titanic movie sucks, but the last fucking 30 minutes of it is two people getting chased by a guy who's trying to kill them while their ocean liner is sinking. And it's like, this movie is fucking awesome. That's how I felt at the end of this Freaky Tales. I was like, God, this movie is great.
I kind of like the first one a little bit because I had a very brief foray into that punk world.
Yeah, me too.
When I was
at that
a
time.
teen, and so I was like, "Oh, this is kind of fun," but I'd actually had completely forgotten about the rap battle. But,
I mean, overall, it's definitely worth watching.
Oh yeah,
I have a feeling this turns into a cult film.
Oh, it's very, very easily a cult film
because literally nobody is talking about this, and I think 5 years from now, people stumble upon it, somewhere, and they're just like, "Oh, this movie is fun."
And there's also people I think will look at segments we didn't like, and that'll be their favorite segment very easily. I mean, if you're a huge rap battle fan, it's a decent scene for a rap battle,
right?
But and then
What year was this? Is this set?
It's real recent.
87 is when it's
when it takes place. 24 was when it was released.
Brand new. I think it just did a festival.
Yeah.
Finished a festival.
Yeah, because I keep seeing trailers, but
yeah, I mean, if it was our year wrap in, it could probably be a 2025 film because I think it just hit big release.
Is it streaming free anywhere, or is it still a paid for rental?
I had to rent it.
That sounds right. I think it's like the $3 rental range, though.
I'm gonna have to Amazon something slow-mo and then get my $2 and rent this movie for $1.93.
Well, that's like I was going through Amazon, and the weird thing I've done with the Winnie the Pooh movies and all that shit.
Yeah.
The Popeye movies are out, and a couple of the others, and I looked at that, and they're like $13 rent. It's like, nope, I'll wait on those.
You're talking about the ones that have become public domain?
Yeah.
Hold off on those because someone at this table might have decided that that's going to be his topic coming up shortly. It is those public domain films.
Ooh.
Excellent. Maybe
Very
after they're not $14
right.
rentals.
Or at least have a good reason then to spend money on it.
Yeah. So Freaky Tales, I would say, is a recommend.
Yeah.
But I would also say you will probably be thinking, I wonder what these guys liked about it until you get to the Pedro Pascal one, which is just better acted by everybody.
It's obvious, you've got the actors that elevate the people around them.
Yeah.
He obviously is that kind of a person to where, I don't know, him a little bit better. He seems like the kind of person that when he's working with somebody, he's working with them.
Yeah.
And so like the scene with the lady in the car was, her acting was really good and his. And so,
The other kind of surprise actor showing up in this is Ben Mendelsohn, and that guy is a fucking powerhouse actor too. So he really elevates the scenes he's in.
Yeah.
And there is some kind of interesting intertwining of the stories once you get into the third and fourth story, where you start realizing, oh, the people there are part of this story and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's worth a watch for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Nice.
I'm glad that you saw that. Okay, how about we take a little break, and then when we come back, we're continuing with sci-fi as we get into the 2010s.
Transformers, Dark of the Moon, action is here. And with all new mech tech figures, I'm in control. Auto versus the Cell, a vehicle you spy. When I get it in my hands, they're robots in disguise. Mech get the ready, Decepticons, my foe. Change the weapon, shift the gears, I'm always in control. Give me any vehicle, and I'll show you a robot in disguise.
New mech tech figures, each sold separately, change time may vary. Transformers.
Hello?
Let's see who's called the Strange Eons radio hotline.
Oh, yeah, quick addendum to the other film industry note. So I think Seattle might also have the problem that its housing is expensive as fuck. And Atlanta's now running into that because housing used to be dirt cheap, but now something like 30% of the single-family homes here are bought up by rental companies, and the rent is just off the charts. So if you aren't already in about 10 years ago, then you're just not going to be able to sustain it. So I just thought I'd throw that in the pot. Thanks again. Hi, guys. It's Micah again, and a rare twofer. But since I'm down in Georgia and I was intrigued by your conversation about the Seattle film scene, figured I'd give you this one from about a year or so ago when I was at a bar in Noonan, which is down near where they filmed The Walking Dead. And there was this incredibly drunk guy there who turned out to be the head trainer for a really big studio that I'm not going to name, but you can figure it out because it's Georgia. And he was wasted because he'd been told that a whole production was going to London. And then he proceeded to tell me about how a whole bunch of productions were all being moved to London because they were offering huge incentives, which is probably what Seattle's thing is that they're offering refunds instead of incentives, which I think that gives a lot of companies pause. But it was quite a thing. And I've got plenty of friends in the VFX business around here, and they're all scrambling to figure out how to do other things right now. And one's working for DoorDash. That sucks. So, yeah, that business is contracting hard here. But, yeah, wow, that's a downer note to end on. But otherwise, yeah, things are good. See you later. Bye.
And we have returned. Motherfucking.
I'm so angry.
Rage.
If we have to talk about household repairs, man, it's going to be half an hour of me just going.
This was, after some confusion, this was my choice.
That's right, yes.
It was indeed.
And I decided to make it easy on myself by choosing sci-fi movies of the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
So I will start us off with that in mind, giving myself 5 minutes, and I am talking about, from 2012, Chronicle.
You're probably going to want to get this on camera.
Yeah, ba-bling, ba-bling,
I don't want to do it. Dude, I don't want to do it.
Okay, are you ready?
Okay,
Come on,
yes.
do it.
Give me a countdown.
I will, I promise.
Ah!
Are we rolling? I'm gonna get the gum. Pull it right out of his mouth.
Wait, why are you running?
I got this one. Just wait. Just wait.
She's just looking at it.
This is my theory, though, is that it's like a muscle.
Watch this. Dude, holy crap!
That's why I think we're getting stronger, you know?
She thinks it's stolen. No idea.
Yes, it was the black guy this time.
Because we're working it out.
There's nothing stopping us.
Where are you going? I'm sorry.
That's just some redneck. What the hell is this guy's problem?
Stop! Are you crazy? Why did you do that? What the hell is wrong with?
Was it an accident, Andrew? Andrew? I'm worried about Andrew. Listen to me. We can't screw around with this. It's too dangerous. Andrew, it's not a game.
Andrew! Stop this right now!
Who's making that sound? What is that?
All right, dude, we're going inside.
Steve, wait up. Matt, look at this. Holy.
We've all seen Chronicle.
Nope.
Yes.
You haven't seen Chronicle, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Directed by Josh Trank, who after this directed the Fantastic Four reboot that failed mightily, and Capone, which basically killed his career.
Mm-hmm.
Written by Josh Trank and Max Landis, who has written American Ultra, Victor Frankenstein, Bright, Shadow in the Cloud. He is a good writer and a horrible human being.
Oh, I would say he's a bad writer and a horrible human being.
I liked all those movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Victor Frankenstein?
I liked Victor Frankenstein. I thought it was fine.
Woof. Okay. Carry on.
I named 5 movies. You pulled out one.
They all suck.
And it was probably the least of them. I liked Shadow in the Cloud quite a bit. I liked American Ultra a lot. Okay, so this stars Dane DeHaan, who was Harry Osborn in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. He was also in A Cure for Wellness, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, Oppenheimer, and just recently on American Primeval. This also stars Alex Russell, who was in Bait. He was in the Carrie remake. He was in Under My Skin and 129 episodes of SWAT. And little known young actor named Michael B. Jordan, who was in Creed, Creed 2, Black Panther 1 and 2, and just recently, Sinners. So, Eric, we are introduced to Seattle high schooler Andrew, who's having a hard time at home. His mom is dying from some unnamed disease, and his alcoholic father beats him regularly. To start combating this, he has picked up a camcorder and started recording everything about his life. Yes, this is unfortunately a found footage film. Andrew's cousin Matt has invited him to a rave to help him meet people, but he's there filming everything, and that gets him kicked out pretty quickly, and he leaves the party dejected. But a few hours later, he's approached by Steve, a popular jock at the high school. Steve is friends with Matt, and the two of them have found something weird and want Andrew to record it. It is a strange hole in the ground, and when they all go in, there is something in there giving off an alien light, and it quickly explodes with light, and the boys scramble out.
Never.
This is their superhero origin story, as they've all gained telekinetic powers, but when they start to overexert themselves, they get horrible nosebleeds. They realize, though, that their powers increase as they use them more often, so they start hanging out and practicing on each other. It's probably the best part of the movie is you get to watch teenage boys acting like teenagers with telekinetic powers. They throw rocks at each other with their minds, have contests who can build the fastest Lego structures, and pull pranks on unsuspecting people. Good fun. That is until Andrew kills a guy in a road rage incident, and now everyone is freaked out. They make a set of rules to never use their powers against living things. Andrew and Steve even enter the school talent show and do a bunch of impossible tricks, which turns Andrew into the coolest kid in school. And he is finally invited to a party with the popular kids. And that is, of course, where everything starts going wrong in a Carrie-type situation. He goes on a destructive killing spree, and only his cousin Andrew can stop him. Or can he?
Ooh.
This movie was a lot better than I remembered, and the fact that Seattle looks a lot like a South African city didn't bother me as much this time around. Some trivia. Director Josh Trank made Dane DeHaan, Michael B. Jordan, and Alex Russell live in a house together for 15 days in order to create some kind of bond between the three actors. The screenplay for this film was featured in the 2010 Blacklist, which is a list of the most liked unmade scripts of the year. Shockingly, the original story would have the trio become psychopaths because of their powers, but it was soon changed as it was too dark and also would not really make sense to the plot. Also, this is not shocking when you realize who Max Landis is. At 27, Josh Trank was the youngest person to direct a film that opened at #1 at the box office. The previous record holder was Steven Spielberg, who was 28 when Jaws opened.
Wow.
After this film grossed 10 times its budget, Josh Trank found himself in high demand by major studios. He was attached to a number of projects, such as Sony's long-gestating Venom movie, a Star Wars spin-off focusing on Boba Fett, an adaptation of Shadow of the Colossus, a film based on the Image comic book Red Star, and a reboot of Fantastic Four. He ultimately chose Fantastic Four, a critical and commercial failure that nearly ended his career. In 2019, after Max Landis was accused of sexual and emotional abuse by multiple women, Josh Trank tweeted, "I 100% believe every word of this article about Max. I banned him from visiting principal photography of Chronicle, and I haven't spoken to him since 2012.
Wow.
Fair.
By the way, Josh Trank's career is pretty much stalled, but Max Landis continues to work.
I have a little bit of interesting BTS info on Trank, which is, so around the time he was doing Fantastic Four, I knew a sound designer who was, I think he was at Sony at the time. And he just imploded on that set.
Yeah.
And he made a little tent and he hid in it and he wouldn't come out.
This
and
was
then
Trank?
Yeah. And then they brought on producers to basically finish the film, and they wanted to keep it hush hush because they didn't want the public to find out and it would plummet, because if they were like, the director basically didn't exist. And then he went to the internet and was like, "They stole my film."
Jesus.
And tanked it himself. That's why it's a big old mess and it makes zero sense.
Wow.
Yeah, that is actually publicly known.
Yeah.
There was a big article written about how poorly he acted on set. He's too young. He was given a gigantic fucking property.
It's way too big. Yeah. For like to go from Chronicle to that. I do feel bad for him. I think that was a really rough situation.
The unfortunate thing then, though, is he does Capone, which is not as big, and it's still a really horrible movie. So,
is it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think that this was kind of a
flash in the pan.
unfortunately, Max Landis wrote an interesting story.
I think, I think somehow a good story came, because Chronicle is a great film. But I don't think that those filmmakers are necessarily good filmmakers. Yeah. But Michael B. Jordan
is
there
great.
You go.
He steals the camera limelight in this. Was this his first?
I think it was his very first film.
Yeah, because I remember watching this and being like, that guy's kind of cute. He's kind of watchable. I don't know. Who's this dude? I don't usually like the sports guy.
Again, because if you thought he was kind of cute, he is a kid in this. I was looking at this guy going, boy, this guy has grown up to be a very handsome man, but you might not have believed it back then.
Really? Well, he's just got that charisma.
Yeah.
I think there's also something to be said as far as director, the difference between some can do both, some can't, between a found footage film and a lockdown film with sticks. It's a very different style.
And having a crew versus like having, your friends.
Yourself and a couple.
Yeah, it's so different.
Very, very different. So I could see, that'd be too bad he couldn't handle it, but that would be wow, what a transition. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Vanessa, you want to go next?
Sure.
5 minutes.
All right. So I went with a film I had not seen, which is from 2011, the film In Time.
to introduce my mother-in-law, Clara, my wife, Michelle, and my daughter, Sylvia.
Whoa, where's the rest?
Never met the quota.
My units are up from last week.
So is the quota.
Just once, I'd like to wake up with more time on my hand than hours in the day.
How old are you?
28.
I'm 105. But the day comes when you've had enough. If you had as much time as I have, what would you do with it?
Sure as hell wouldn't waste it.
The last time anyone saw him alive, there was over a century on that clock.
Well, follow the time.
His name is Will Salas.
You can't hide 100 years in the ghetto.
You know that time will get you killed.
Hey, Mom, I'm gonna get out of here.
I just wouldn't know what to do if I lost you.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of your company before, Mr. Salas. Will Salas.
I'm sorry to have to break up the party, Mr. Weiss. I just need to work with your friend. This is my death.
Please take me home.
Can't do that.
Why?
You're keeping me alive. How can you live with yourself watching people die right next to you?
You don't watch. You close your eyes.
I'm gonna make them pay. I'm gonna take them for everything they've got.
Come on, help yourselves.
Take the time, it's free.
You put enough time in the wrong hands, you upset the whole system.
Let's hope so. If this works, we gotta get more.
I can help you get all the time you want.
You know we're coming to get you.
His crime wasn't taking time. He was giving it away.
I've seen the poster bopping around here and there. Thought I'd check it out. Had a budget of $40 million, box office 174. This is written and directed by Andrew Nicole, who you would know from Gattaca, Simone, Lord of War, and wrote Truman Show. Starring Justin Timberlake.
There you go.
You know, being Justin Timberlake. Also, The Social Network, Inside Llewyn Davis, SNL, and Trolls as Branch.
Oh, that's nice.
And
Bring
then,
that band to sofa down.
good Lord. Amanda Seyfried, because I'm happy. Anyway, Amanda Seyfried from 77 credits, including Mean Girls, Mamma Mia, Les Mis, Twin Peaks, The Return, and Cillian Murphy? Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
63 credits, including 28 Days Later, Inception, Oppenheimer, and Peaky Blinders. And also has in it Olivia Wilde, Johnny Galecki from The Big Bang Theory, Ethan Peck, Spock, and Vincent Catheiser, who plays Pete Campbell in Mad Men. The story is in 2069, I know, people are born with an embedded timer. When they turn 25, they are given 1 year of time, which becomes basically a currency. Their minutes are used for things like coffee, are used to get the bus, any basic thing you would use cash for. Instead, you use time for, and you, of course, have to earn a living. When their time runs out, they immediately die, so they must find ways to stay alive. Many people live a while but they never age. They never look older than 25. The truly rich people essentially become immortal because they can just keep going and going and going. People live in time zones according to their wealth. This keeps the rich rich and the poor poor. Another big differentiator between the poor and the rich is that the poor run everywhere because time is too precious. They also don't sleep in or engage in time-wasting activities except for going to the club. Will Salas is from a poor neighborhood, living with his mother and day to day, basically owing money to all kinds of time lenders. He works in a factory and is living in a ghetto, but is a clearly generous guy. He gives time away to a little girl around this down the block. He offers to help people out around him. after work, he goes to a club and he sees Henry Hamilton, a 105-year-old man who has a century of life on his clock and is lavishly giving time away and buying drinks for people. Will warns him that the Minutemen, a local mafia, will come and kill him if they see him act like this. Basically, they'll rob him of all his time. The man doesn't care, and when the Minutemen arrive, the man is clearly out of his league. Will helps him escape to a hideout in a warehouse where they stay overnight. They have a long conversation about the meaning of life, and the man tells Will that there's a conspiracy to keep the poor and force their time to run out so they have to die, and that there is actually plenty of time to go around. Meanwhile, of course, the rich can live forever, like himself, and he says it's not natural and that he basically wants to die. The next morning, before Will wakes, the man transfers all of his life to him, then wanders off into the morning to sit on a bridge and die. He leaves a note to Will saying, "Do not waste my time." Will is excited to share his time with his mother, but due to a miscalculation of timing and the bus raising its rate, she dies before she gets home.
Oh, man. Jesus.
Yep. Will decides to destroy the system and goes out of his time zone to the richest neighborhood. He embeds himself within a bunch of bankers, and he intends to take the whole thing down. But meanwhile, the timekeepers, aka the police, find Henry's body. Will becomes the prime suspect. They catch up to Will at a party while he's flirting with Sylvia, the banker's daughter, who feels that life is pointless and is thrilled by Will's free spirits. When the police arrive, he takes her hostage and they go on the run. They return to the ghetto where they are robbed of all but a few minutes, and she learns how to value time. They then basically become a futuristic Robin Hood, Bonnie and Clyde, robbing the rich of their time and breaking into her father's banks and giving it away to the poor. This is a pretty dramatic shift from a sci-fi story to Bonnie and Clyde. Like, whoa, okay, the plot is gone. Here we are. That's fine. It's it knows what it is and it goes into it. I don't know why their solve isn't to just destroy the whole mechanism. That's very strange to me. Like, I don't know why they steal time instead of just killing the devices and the reason why people are forced to live the way they are, but that's okay. There are a crazy number of random people who eventually become famous. The guy who goes on to play Spock in Brave New Worlds is her like bodyguard who says nothing. I just kept looking at people being like, wait, you're famous. You're somebody. You go on to be in the Big Bang Theory as like the lead. You're just the geeky friend here. Cillian Murphy has a very goofy run. Amanda Seyfried has to run in high heels the whole time, and it's fucking stupid. It's just dumb. I'm not in love with this film. I feel like because everyone is 25 or younger, you just don't get the quality of acting, and there is a weird uncanny valley when you've got like Olivia Wilde as his mom and she's hugging him and you're like, did you guys just sleep together? Why are you in the same place? Oh, you're his mom. Okay, cool. Like there's just some weird things going on. Cillian Murphy does a great job, but it just doesn't quite support the film. I don't think it's amazing. I won't say too much more other than the writer-director Andrew Niccol has called his 2011 film In Time a bastard child of Gattaca. Also, sci-fi writer Harlan Ellison launched a lawsuit against New Regency and director Andrew Niccol, claiming that the film's plot was an uncanny similarity to his short story Repent, Harlequin, said the Talkmen. Initially, Ellison was seeking an injunction against the film's release, which he watered down to a request for an on-screen credit. Ultimately, the case was dropped with no money exchanging hands between the parties, both sides releasing the following joint statement. After seeing the film In Time, Harlan Ellison decided to voluntarily dismiss the action. No payment or screen credit was promised or given to Harlan Ellison. The parties wish each other well and have no further comment on this matter. So that's it.
Harlan got a special call in the middle of the night.
I think
you're going to drop this, sir.
I think he saw it and went, oh, actually, this isn't my movie at all.
Right. I don't want my name on this.
Never mind. Walk away slow.
I haven't seen this, but I'm curious about it. So.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's worth checking out. I didn't hate it. I wasn't crazy in love with it.
Yeah.
I think Justin Timberlake.
But did he bring sexy back for you?
I was never that into Justin. He wasn't my guy.
Not a JT fan?
I was not. My roommate in college was.
Yeah.
Big posters everywhere.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Eric, you ready?
Yes.
5 minutes.
It's okay. So 2013 brings me Upstream Color.
Do you know this place?
I want to say yes
Go in there, just go in there.
for you. I want to.
I haven't slept at all. Is there a direction that you feel drawn?
I'm going to go wherever you go. You know that. You're scaring me a little bit.
I feel like you know.
Won't let anyone near them. There's a crowd back in the corner. Violent. I've never seen the parents behave so.
They can get very protective.
The water before you is somehow special. It is better than anything you've ever tasted. Each drink is better than the last. Take a drink now.
Which I did not know existed until I was looking through this.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
What?
And
Really?
as soon as I saw who directed it, I'm going, I am watching this. It's directed and written by Shane Carruth, who did Primer.
Okay.
And another thing called Breakthrough, and God knows why he hasn't done more movies. I don't know. He's an actor. He's also acts in this. He was in Swiss Army Man, The Girlfriend Experience, Everything and Everything and Everything. Sure. Amy Seimetz, who was in Pet Sematary, 3 episodes Stranger Thing, Alien Covenant, and You're Next. And Frank Mosley, who's Shoot the Moon Between the Eyes, Go Fuck Yourself, Oliver, and 109 other credits.
Or Oliver.
Yeah, no shit. Okay, so this starts artsy. There's that sci-fi music note, of a single note that's sort of ascending and descending, and like, okay, I've heard this before. Long drawn out, still sounds cool, but all these super tight shots with one image in the middle of a blurry thing, very, very scene artsy, but still looking really good, telling some weird story of what this guy seems to be harvesting plants or maggots or something. The next moment is there's two teens who drink whiskey-looking liquid and one closes their eyes, and the other guy starts doing gestures, and the other person matches him perfectly, not being able to see him at all. So they do this again later with a similar situation, setting you up that whatever's going on with these maggots is generating some kind of communication between these two people. So he decides, the scientist, or kind of the scientist, decides he's going to puts 2 in capsules to go out and find someone to take control of. And gives it to a woman, which leads to the thought of uncomfortable things, but thankfully it does not go there. It keeps him just stealing all her money. So he gets her to write her mortgage off to him and all the cash she can come up with, including a bunch of like rare coins or something like that. And once that's done, he takes her to this doctor kind of thing who takes the worm has, grown, and there's some grim stuff of her trying to figure out what's going on after she comes to, and he takes this worm out and implants it in a pig. There's some uncomfortable scenes with pigs in this film, just in case you're inclined to be worried about that kind of stuff. But from there, it becomes this very odd thing where people, you come to realize all these pigs are connected to people in the real world. And he's basically observing them. And somehow when he sits with the pigs, he sits with the people. It's wild. And two of these people find each other, which, leads to problems for him. And it's really good.
So these people don't know that they're connected to these pigs.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just smart. Just like Primer, it's incredibly smart filmmaking, which may lead to answers or may not. Absolutely, if you like Primer at all, this is a film to check out. Because it's got the strain, it's incredibly well shot. The acting is insanely good. It just works. So I am really, really thrilled that this is the one I watched. Probably the best one so far. It's because it's interesting and kind of like Primer. I think I only watched Primer once, but I never stopped forgetting that film. And luckily, Umbrella just came out with a very cool box set of it, which I need to watch. It's premiered at Sundance in 2013 in January, and did get a small theatrical release, but that was self-distributed by the director. And he made a quote about everything about the choice to do the distribution is about contextualizing the movie. It's like, sounds like the guy who writes these deep thinker movies lives a deep thinker life. So Upstream Color, highly recommended, available through a few places like Rents and stuff like that. But if you like the weirder side of sci-fi, the hard to figure out what's going on, go on a journey art house movie, this is definitely one to check out.
Vanessa, you've clearly seen this.
Yes.
I didn't like it at all, looks like.
I think I've seen it 3 or 4 times.
Really?
I hate this movie.
Why the hell would you watch it again?
Right.
Because people I hang out with were like, we got to watch Upstream Color. I saw it in theaters, and then I saw it with several times with friends. And I think I just kept hoping I would get something more out of it. But to me, it feels very pretentious.
Oh, it's very pretentious.
Yeah, it's hard. And
Primer's very pretentious.
I know. I don't like Primer either. So there's a big, like, it's me. Like, I accept that it's not necessarily the film. It's just, for me, I just find it intolerable.
I think this also came up with that series of those guys we like so much who did all the Lovecraftian stuff. I can't think of the names, but
Benson and
Benson and Moorhead.
Who we both really
Those
like and
fuckers.
you can't stand.
Find a shot, guys.
Yeah. Those films, those all group together.
Yes.
Very well as far as that kind of stuff. And I like all of them.
I mean, it's adventurous and I appreciate that. I feel like they're trying to be too cool for themselves. I think that's what I get frustrated with is I'm like, cool, you found this shot. That must make you feel very special. Like, it's not adding anything for me.
Well, that's the same of every director who ever made a movie ever.
Well, yeah.
I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, but
when you find that shot.
When you're hoping the shot helps the film or the story, and I feel like Upstream Color is beautiful, but there's a lot of sitting and waiting and but I'm glad that you watched it. I'm glad you found it and I'm glad you like it. It's just, for me, it was not the film for me personally. I don't know. I can imagine I feel like I have sat at a bar and drunk and hung out with filmmakers about my age, about my experience level, going out there, making their movies. And it's like they are so excited about their own idea that they lose sight of the idea of having an audience or the idea of, they feel they're very proud of themselves and they're very cool and they're very like off the grid. And I think that's my frustration is I'm like, okay, good for you.
Lars Van Trier.
Lars Van Trier, sure. Yeah, okay. And I've seen a lot of Lars Van Trier.
Oh, yeah,
too.
so have I.
But
keep hoping I'll like him more than I do. But
sometimes I like a thing here or there.
Oh, yeah.
But I agree. It can be definitely very tough. I mean, the whole Dogma 95 crew can just that's this very similar frustration to me. It's like, why are you putting the restrictions on yourself? What's so cool about it? Like, what are you achieving by having no lights and no, tripod and
the house that Jack built was kind of the one that almost maybe I'm done watching his stuff because people loved it so much. And we're talking about how it's like the creepiest, most disturbing film I've ever seen. I can't believe. And he does dark shit. I think there's one creepy scene and two really cool scenes. But I'm like, this is a really boring film.
Sure. Yeah.
So I get that. I just happen to really like those two.
Yeah. No, and there are a lot of people who do. Like, I was just talking to my husband and he was like, we got to watch Primer. And I was like, you will watch that by yourself? Enjoy. He's like, I just bought the box set. I was like, I know you did. That's awesome. I'm
good
really
for you, dear.
I'm really happy for you. That's great.
I'm going to go over here and watch the Godzilla movie from the 90s.
I sure will, and I will love it. I didn't expect all those eggs in that stadium. That was great. I got the Taco Time cup. I'm happy as a clam.
Perfect.
Eric, I think you have the subgenre pick for the next
damn it,
episode.
I feel like something different.
Okay.
Truly, deeply, incredibly different. We're going to go back to the decade that almost mastered speculative science fiction.
Ooh.
The 1970s.
Yes.
I was going to say the 90s. Was that the 90s?
No, never again.
Destroyed speculative
I regret
science
everything.
fiction.
Science fiction of the 70s. This is going to lead us down to like the 60s and the 50s, right?
Were there science fiction
40s?
films in the 10s? What about the 1890s?
Well, Frankenstein was one of the first films. It's like 8 minutes long or something like that.
I mean, yeah, we'll get into short territory at some point, but I'll ride this pony as far as it'll take us.
Yeah, I like this idea a lot. I've got this little indie up my sleeve called Star Wars.
Oh, you're gonna do that, huh? I see how you are.
Well, then that leads us to the end of the show where we like to thank everybody who's out there spreading the word by liking and sharing posts, commenting, and giving us a thumbs up on the YouTube channel, reaching out to us on the Strange Eons Radio Talk page on Facebook.
That's right.
And I'm very rarely on Facebook, but I popped on lately and I looked at a bunch of stuff and I was like, nice to see everybody talking.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Also leaving us a message or calling us in on the Strange Eons Radio hotline on 253-237-4266. We love hearing from you. We
text too.
Text as well. Yes, you can definitely text the line too. Eric is waiting by the phones.
Standing by. Operators are standing by. We also love it when you decide you want to donate some money to the cause. That is a big deal to us, and we really, really appreciate that. You can do that on our Buy Us a Coffee page, which is Buy Us a Pizza, because Vanessa. And
right. Wait, what are you trying to say?
You can donate through PayPal. You can even do a recurring charge where you forget all about it, and it just sends us money every
20
month.
years from now, you go, what the hell is this?
Right. It's called value for value, people. If you get some value out of this, give some value back. We can't tell you how much value you get out of this.
Yeah.
So it's up to you.
That's right. If you get enough value out of it that you feel like, those guys need new microphones, great.
That would be lovely.
That's how we get all our equipment around here.
That is true. All right, gang, how about we get together in 2 short weeks and we start talking about movies from the 1970s?
Amazing.
Nice.
All right. See you 2 Thursdays from now.
Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio, produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, if you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
We have to talk about household repairs, man. It's going to be half an hour of me just going.